Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's video, I will be discussing every money mistake I've ever made in my early 20s to my mid 20s, because that's when I started to purchase unnecessary items. So if you guys are interested to hearing these embarrassing things, keep on watching. First thing that I spent my money on was $900 worth of makeup. Most of this makeup went to the garbage because most of it expired, and there was like a little plastic drawer, those things you purchase from Walmart, like the college bins, and I kid you not, one of them was filled with lipstick to the top. And the funny thing is that I never even wore lipstick. I just purchased them because they were the Wet n Wild and the e.l.f. kind, and they were $1, so I felt like, all right, if I had $20 then I can get 10 from e.l.f. and 10 from Wet n Wild. So eventually my makeup collection became out of control, and I did spend almost $1,000 on useless makeup. Till this day, it's so embarrassing because now my makeup collection is so tiny, it's like non-existent basically. I've come a long way, but I've also spent a lot of money on makeup I didn't really need. Next thing is something you guys have already heard about because I did do a story time on it, and that is $15,000 for a 2007 Cadillac STS. Obviously, I didn't pay it off. I purchased it at $15,000. I was doing payments, and I ended up getting to like, I think I put like I was on like the $6,000 mark, and I was almost done paying it off, and then I was like, you know what? I don't want this anymore. It was acting weird. It was a V8. V8s are basically gas guzzlers, and I was putting like $20 in that car every other day. The transmission was acting weird. So basically I went to a buy here, pay here, to sum it up, and they sold me a lemon, if you want to put it that way. But yeah, and I also had to pay an extra $800 to bring it back. So they charged me to bring it back. And they also charged me, it was like 100 and something to inspect it. One of the dumbest purchases I've ever made was getting a Cadillac to impress others. So stupid, so stupid. The next one is $400 worth of perfume. I would purchase the cheap ones from Victoria's Secret, but then I would get into the whole like Gucci. Even though I had a bunch of perfumes in my room, I would always want the Gucci Guilty and the Versace Bright Crystal. I would get the smaller version of the expensive ones, even though the smaller version is still expensive. I had a bureau when I used to live with my mother. In my bedroom, the whole top part was filled with perfume, like those body sprays from Victoria's Secret on one side, like at least 20 to 30 bottles, because they were so cheap. And then when they did the semi-annual sale, I would get like even more. And then one side would be like luxury perfumes that I got, like the little sizes, so because I didn't have enough money to purchase the full sizes. I don't even wear perfume anymore, but the reason why I don't is because perfume always gives me a headache. I don't know if it's just me. Let me know in the comment section if you guys feel that way about certain scents, but I have never found a perfume that I didn't feel like I was getting car sick. So even though I spent all that money, I would wear these perfumes and feel really sick to my stomach, but I would still wear them. And then sometimes I didn't want to wear them, and they would just be sitting on my bureau collecting dust. Like literally you couldn't even see what kind of perfume it was because the bottles were filled with dust. Next thing is I spent a little over $1,000 on thrifted clothes. So this is something that I haven't really talked about on the channel. I kind of like skipped it in my 20s story because I didn't want to make that video any longer than it was. But I used to go every Wednesday to thrift stores. So basically what this sale was is when you walk in, they will have like a sign saying all blue ticket items are $1. No matter what it was $1. And I would go crazy. Like I would purchase so many sweaters, so many jeans, so many shirts. And when a year passed by, I literally spent like $1,000. So it was like 1,000 items. I kid you not. My bed was really high up, so you can fit a lot. And there would be like 4 totes filled with clothes. Like I would end up like going in there and thinking like, oh my god, there's so many, what am I gonna wear? And funny thing is that most of those sweaters I didn't even like. I just purchased them because they were $1. You ever just purchase something because it's on sale and you feel like you're never gonna see it at that price again? That's how I was. So I wasted a ton of money on clothes that I never wore, but good thing that I did sell all of it and got some money back. When I started my minimalist journey, I sold most of it on Poshmark and Mercari. So the next one is $50 worth of iPhone cases. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, $50 isn't that bad. It doesn't seem that bad until you're buying these cases from the dollar store. So I had 50 cases. They were the ones that didn't protect your phone. They were the cases that made your phone look cute. That's it. So if your phone drops, bye-bye phone. Like, it's just pointless. But anyways, $50 worth of cases is pretty silly, especially when they are Dollar Tree iPhone cases. Like, don't ever purchase Dollar Tree phone accessories because they don't work. Especially like the phone protectors, they always break. I wish I would have spent that $50 on a decent, like really heavy duty case instead of me trying to look cute all the time. And I treated my phone like it was another human. Like I always said, like I would treat it like it needed new outfits every day. Even me talking about these things, I'm cringing inside. I'm like, should I even post this video? But I'm doing it so you guys don't make the same mistakes I made. Next up was, this one is pretty recent, when I moved into my first apartment, and that is $300 worth of plants. So I do love plants. I have a green thumb and I spent a ton of money on plants that I didn't have the time to take care of. If you guys go back to my old videos, you will see that I had an apartment filled with plants. And it's not the fact that I fell out of love with plants. Right now I have 3 plants. This Monstera, another Monstera that I'm trying to revive, and then I have a pothos above the fridge. I do love plants in a house, don't get me wrong. I feel like having a plant in each room is nice, and I love the look of it. But I will not overdo it again. So for instance, when I was at my old apartment, in my living room, I think I had like 30 plants in one room. Like that was just way too much. And of course I spent all that money on these plants. Some of them died and most of them I had to get rid of because I moved here, and let's face it, this is a 350 square foot studio. Where am I gonna fit like over 60 plants in here? And when plants are hoarded like that together, I feel like a lot of gnats come in, a lot of pests. But needless to say, I learned my lesson and I will not be purchasing a bunch of plants because, I mean, $300, that's a lot of money wasted. It might not be a lot to some people, but that can pay your credit card bill, that can pay, you know, that can put food in the house, so. This one I'm not proud of at all, and it was so unhealthy of me, and that was spending a little over $700 on fast food for like years. Obviously, $700 to some people isn't a lot when it comes to food, but I was spending that on the dollar menu at McDonald's. And this was way before I was vegan. I used to work at a laundromat. And obviously, we had like 2 breaks, and beside the laundromat was a McDonald's. So I would just go there on break, and our breaks were like 40 minutes. So I would get like 3 breakfast burritos or like 3 chicken sandwiches. I don't know if this stuff is $1 anymore, but back then it was. And that's what I did for the longest time, and I think that's what caused me to break out. It caused me to get really heavy because I was eating a lot of that every day. And of course, even at nighttime I was eating like Burger King and stuff. So spending that much money on fast food is just a big no-no. You're better off spending that money on some decent quality food. Put it in your fridge and make a salad. Like, do things like that instead of spending that much money on these junk food items. It's just, it's really silly, and I'm glad that I'm out of that phase. And you have to think of your health, because health is wealth, like I always say, and I learned my freaking lesson. I mean, don't get me wrong, we do eat out once in a great while. We eat at vegan restaurants, but not like I used to. And obviously the things that we do eat are 10 times healthier than what I used to eat. The thing I wasted my money on that you guys are very familiar with was the white desk that I used to have in all of my old videos. So that desk was from IKEA. I purchased it in 2014, way before I started YouTube. The story with that white desk is the fact that I purchased it because every beauty guru had it. I think I paid like 90 or 80 bucks for that desk. Obviously, it didn't look that big in my last apartment, but I purchased that when I lived in a little bedroom at my mom's house, and it was just filled with things on top of it. But when I moved, I realized, all right, I'm a minimalist now. Like, why do I need this giant desk? And I was only using one drawer. It came with 2 drawers. So I wasted that money. I actually gave that desk away to a lady at my job, my old job, her daughter. And then I also ended up giving away that stool that I had to go with that desk to my mom. So I'm happy that I have this little IKEA desk, nice and tiny and minimal. And even though it does have like semi 2 drawers, but the laptop goes here so I can slide it in and out. So it's not really a drawer, it's just a little like compartment. So this is what I needed for my job. The other stuff was mostly just for me trying to be like other people. Another thing that I wasted my money on, and it's not a lot of money, it's $50, but hear me out with this. I was the kind of person to follow the crowd back in the day because I didn't know, I didn't know myself like I know myself now. So I spent money on horrible tattoos. I only have 2 tattoos, thank goodness. And I have nothing against tattoos. I think they are beautiful. But when you get underground tattoos, you have to be careful. And I was not careful. I would just see who did the cheapest tattoos and I would go to them. So I spent $50 altogether on these music notes. I don't even know why I got them. Obviously, I love music, but what does this even mean? I seen it on Google back in the day. I think I got this when I was like 21, 20? No, I think it was like 20. And I thought it looked so cute and I wanted it, and now I'm stuck with it for the rest of my life. Another one that I have is on my leg, but it's just 3 butterflies. They were supposed to be, the big one was supposed to be me, so I'm the blue butterfly, and then the other 2 ones were orange and yellow, and that was for my twin sisters because we are really close. I actually had them choose the colors that day. We went to an underground tattoo place. I was 16, my mom took me. My mom's really into tattoos. She's got a bunch. So she was really happy that I wanted a tattoo. And my sisters actually got tattoos way before me. They were 15. So we are a tattoo family, but I wish I would have been a little bit more mindful. I wish I would have went to better artists, and I wish I would have gotten stuff that was a lot smaller because now I'm stuck with these 2 tattoos. Obviously the one on my leg, the butterfly one, is like completely faded. It doesn't even look blue or orange or yellow. It just looks like a blob. But of course, to remove them, it's gonna cost even more money than what I paid to get them done. So that was a lesson that will be on me forever. So I don't plan on getting them removed because obviously I'm saving for a house and there's better things to put my money into use. But if I ever get extra money or if I make more money, then I will get them removed. But who knows? Time will tell, right? Next one is $40 worth of Old Navy dollar flip-flops. So I had a good 40 pairs of flip-flops, every color. And the funny thing is that I would only gravitate towards the brown and the like white ones. And the white ones I always had to repurchase over and over again because no matter how many times you would bleach them and try to make them white like they were when you bought them, they never go back to that color ever. They always have like the toe stain marks on them and the imprints, but altogether it was a little over 40 now that I think of it. A little over $40 of flip-flops that were junk. Now I only own 1 pair of flip-flops and I love them. They are from Old Navy. I've had them for years, but they are the dress-up kind. They're not the dollar ones. The dollar ones are junk. That's why they're $1. The ones that I have, I think I paid like, I think it was like $15. So to me that was pricey, but they've lasted all these years. So another thing that I spent my money on stupidly was $100 worth of nail polish. And this was the exact amount. This is not even an estimate. I used to purchase nail polishes that were $1 from, I think it was Wet n Wild. I'm not sure Elf had any, but I know I had a whole ton of like Wet n Wild. And then when some nail polishes went on sale to being like $1 or 2 for $1, I would grab them. But you live and you learn. I was just so selfish back then and so naive, and I just spent my money stupidly on dumb things. So nail polish was one of those things that was dumb that I spent my money on, because I was always lazy to paint my nails, and I was a dishwasher. Like, I was a dishwasher for 8 years. So I would paint my nails one night, go to work, do dishes for 8 hours, and come home to them completely chipped, like almost gone. So it's like, what was the purpose of me painting my nails? The next one is something that you guys already know, and that is $14,000 worth of student loan debt. This I paid off, and it took me a long time to pay off. I did talk about this on how I paid it off, all that stuff, so I won't bore you with that story. But I learned a huge lesson with this, and this is something that I wasted my money on just to feel like I was doing better, or just to look like I was doing better to others. At 20 years old, I made the decision to go to like a trade school, and it was a 9-month program for pharmacy tech. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it, and I signed my name, and I agreed, and I never showed up to class. And when I did show up to class, I was lost. Then I went to the, they put you on like the training thing where you have to go to like certain pharmacies and do the job that you're in school for, and I sucked. I would get so much anxiety because I didn't know what I was doing, tried to make it look like I was doing better in life, you know, and I wasn't. It just put me behind. It put me behind mentally, it put me behind, you know, with debts, and I ended up quitting. And then I ended up having to pay that back because that was a government student loan. The government is non-forgivable. They do not forgive student loans as of right now. So, even as a back then. So I was stuck paying that. And I am happy that I did pay it off, but it took me a long time to pay off. If I didn't have YouTube, if I didn't do my side hustles with selling my clothes and stuff, I would have never paid that off, because what I was making at the nursing home wasn't even enough to cover that amount of money that I had to pay. So anyways, you guys, those are all the money mistakes that I made. I'm sure there's some that I missed, but it's so hard for me to keep track of everything. I made a lot of mistakes, and you live and you learn, and I'm happy that I'm at the state that I'm at right now when it comes to how I manage my money and how I'm smart with what I purchase, because I purchase what I need, and whatever works for me, I let you guys know so you guys can be smart with your purchases, and you guys can also save some money. So we're both saving money here. I like to share the wealth, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you are making these mistakes right now, try your best to pay off your debt. Try your best not to purchase a bunch of items that you might not need in the long run, and rethink those tattoos that you want, because those are forever. Like, I wish I would have never gotten these, but it is what it is. You can't live in the past. You got to keep going. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.